Alright, I think we are just about ready to go here. Good morning. Well, I guess it's not necessarily morning everywhere, but for me it's semi-early this morning. But wanted to go ahead and get this flight started just a little bit early, just because it is a lengthy flight for me. It's nearly 5 hours, about 4 hours and 15 minutes. Let me show you what we've got going on here, just so you can have a sense. We've been doing some historic airline tours. We did a couple with the Eastern Airline back in the fall. We went from Atlanta up to Boston, then Boston down to Miami, and now we've got a couple more here set up for the TWA version. These are all done, by the way, with the L-1011, the Whisper Liner, the TriStar, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to do Chicago to LA this morning, and then turn around later on, probably sometime around Christmas break, and do the longest of hauls for for this tour anyway, from LA out to Boston. So that's the historic tours route. We'll have a couple, I think 4 or more, maybe a little more than that, with the DC-8 that we'll do also. We have a few that we'll do with the DC-3, and we have a few that we'll do with the 737-200. So we have a bunch of these historic tours that we have coming up here in a little bit. Good morning, Trax 360. Yeah, have fun painting your liveries. That's something I think looks really interesting. Have a lot of respect. I've seen the pictures that you have to work with, and having to make everything fit together is something else. But so have fun, man. Let us know how it turns out. Maybe share a screenshot if you get close to getting done. Where's the information coming from for this L-1011? Well, all these historic flights. One of the main sources is a resource called departedflights.com, and here is just an example of what you get in departedflights.com. This is kind of an advertisement for the TWA wide-body 1011, built for comfort, and there's just all kinds of good stuff there. We actually went in and researched, and you can see there's just a ton of information here. Page 12 of 14 for just advertisements alone. But I went in and did some digging. I'm not going to get, let's see if I can remember this. I'm not going to get probably too close to this particular flight, but just so you have a feel for what it is that we were trying to get. So, well, let's just say American Airlines. You can go to, there's 7 or 8 different old flight schedules, and you can take a look at, here we are flying from Albany, New York to Washington, D.C. You can see when it takes off. You can see when it lands. A lot of times it'll have the airplane number as well. So anyway, just a ton of fun if you're kind of an old aircraft nerd like I am. But all right, enough about that. That's the why we're here. Now let's get to the how we get there. We're in the L-1011, like I mentioned. We're here in, looks like kind of a rainy, snowy Chicago, and we're gonna just get this baby fired up because it takes a little while. Let's get some external power going. Let's pop over here. Battery. We need to turn on the APU service. Excuse me, it goes to external power, and then we turn the external power on. We got to make sure that this guy here is to norm. I could probably zoom in a little bit here to B3G1. Alright, that looks good. Now to the overhead panel. We do need some standby power. That's going to be on, and we'll start to align our INS. This INS does not take near as long to align as the DC-8, which is a great thing. One quirky thing though is that you can't click it to a line from up here. It's like a little bit of a glitch, so you have to actually come down here to the INS key and turn it from standby to a line, because you have to lift it up and then spin it. But we'll get to that here in just a second. I don't have any air traffic control, unfortunately. Thought I might have a little something here, but all around us, but nothing in the Chicago area. So we're not going to worry about getting clearance. By the way, what's going on here in the VAT sim world? Well, not a lot so far in the US. I would gather there's some stuff going on. Yeah, European ATC looks like they've got a few areas here, France and down through Italy, and then up here in Finland. Yeah, Finland and Latvia. So you have a few choices if you're wanting to get out and fly a little bit. Ooh, is this someplace in Russia here? The Russian Federation has a little ATC. Yeah, some good stuff going on here as well. And nothing in the Australian area, but yeah, so you've got a few spots here that you can go fly if you want today. Of course, we'd love to have you tail along with us too if you want. I did share the route in the Discord information. If you go to the flight briefings page, you will see that. Okay, well, we need to set our airport position, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to come down here, turn this to position. That goes to 0. I'm using SimBrief for all this information. You need the latitude and longitude and all that good stuff for not only where you're at, but the route that you're flying. So here we are at O'Hare. It's north 4158.5 and west 8754.4. Alright, that's where we're at. Now again, unfortunately, you cannot, I can't click on that to get it to unlock, so I can't move it. There we go. A little bit of an inconvenience, but not a huge deal. Now that we have our position in, we'll let that INS align. And again, this takes a lot less time than the DC-8. If you've watched any of my DC-8 streams, it's a full 20-minute process, I think, with the DC-8. This doesn't take, it takes about half that. So now we would be getting our clearance from ATC at this point, which here's the route. It's the O'Hare 5 departure, and then we go Iowa City, and actually yeah, then Pawnee City. We follow the J64 down here to Durango and Flagstaff, 29 Palms into LA. So just kind of cutting straight across here on a slant whiskey airway. Basically, we're going VOR to VOR and doing some of that old school navigation here with the SIVA. We could fly it either way. We could fly with the SIVA or we could fly with radio navigation. It really doesn't matter. I like to do both just to kind of stay current with both. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So let's see. Let's go ahead and remember which camera setting we have. Alright, it's time to enter waypoints. Our first waypoint is Iowa City, north 4131.1 and west 9136.8. It populates both for me just in case you would need it. Second waypoint, Pawnee City. Just double checking my route here. Yep, Pawnee City, north 40120, west 9612.4, and third waypoint, Hill City, not Hill City, RSK. Actually, I think I might put in Hill City, Pueblo. I think I'm going to go ahead and put that in. That's all along that J64. If I go straight from Pawnee to RSK, I'd skip a few legs here. So I'm going to go ahead. We'll make a little note to ourselves. We're going to go Hill City, north 39155, and west 136. And then fourth waypoint will be Pueblo, north 38 177. And west 104 258. I'll show you what I'm doing here once we get airborne, and then we can get to Rattlesnake. That's RSK, north 36 44 9. We'll have plenty of time to talk about this little step right here once we get airborne. 108 059. All right. The one thing I do need to do is I need to change this. Rattlesnake is now 5. Flagstaff becomes 6. 29 Palms becomes 7. Alright, that's still perfect. You can enter 9 waypoints in the SIVA, so man, we're in good shape. Alright, so we need to go to the 6th one here. Flagstaff. This is north 35080, or no, 088. 35088. Yep. West 111404. 7th waypoint 29 Palms. 34067. And west 115 462. And then the last one before LA is Paradise north 33551 and west 117 318. And then the last waypoint you always put in, number 9, is always your arrival airport, LAX 3356. Whoops. North 3356.5. And LA West 118 245. Alright, we have all of our waypoints entered. Let's spin over here to the DSR, desired track system auto. So this is now, it started at 9, it's down to 3. As soon as this number is at 0, we will be completely aligned and ready to go. Oh, yeah, ready to click to nav. I thought maybe I clicked it too far, but we've got some work we can do in the meantime while that clicks down. Transponder code is going to be 1200, which it is. Let's go ahead and just set that to standby. We are logged into VATSIM. Excuse me for the gravelly throat this morning. Told you about the flight plan. Okay, ready to, let's enter our fuel and passengers. We're going to say that we are completely full today, max passengers. Looking again at SimBrief for my fuel, my block fuel here, about 42,000 kilograms. We'll give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room here, 43,000. All right. Click OK, loads the data in. Might see a little shift in the plane. Nope, not too much. Even though we're about 5 hours on this flight, this really isn't a long flight for this bird. This was made to be a transcontinental aircraft, so it can really haul a ton of fuel and passengers and cargo a long, long way. We are going to be looking at a rotation speed of about 160 today. Alright. Here's the weather, by the way. Looks like it's maybe stopped with the rain. It does call for showers here at O'Hare. A little bit of rain. Yep, overcast. Ooh, low ceilings, 800. Winds 100 at 12 with gusts of 20. Okay. Now that could be interesting. Could be interesting. So the altimeter setting, by the way, was 29 or 9 or 3. Pop that up 1. And the O'Hare 5 departure. I'm going to pull this up here on my Navigraph just so you can take a look. The O'Hare 5 departure, we do have I think a top altitude somewhere here. Seems like I get something at about like 7,000. Oh, top altitude 5,000. So you basically just get radar vectors to your first nav aid, and for us, we're heading around the corner here to Iowa City, so we will be departing. Let's see if winds are 100. Which way will we be departing? Hey, good morning, Downwind Sim. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. It's I guess I'm on vacation and I'm not used to talking this early or something. So I'll probably be heading out on 10 left. So departing to the east, and well, to the kind of to the northeast, and then making a right-hand turn back towards Iowa City. Alright, that sounds good. So down when you have time, hop in your MD-80, join me at Chicago O'Hare. We'll just do a little quick hop down to LA. Trax 360 is painting liveries. You and I, we could, if we wanted to, we could work on some scenery while we're making the trip. All right, 7,000. Let's put that in. Let's see over here. Whoa. And we're going to have an airspeed of 220 on the climb out. We will, let's see, runway heading at least initially. So 10 left, that's a 93. 09 or 3 heading, and then we'll like I say, we'll make a little right hand turn and we'll head to Iowa City. Okay, that looks pretty good. pre-flight stuff is complete. Yeah, we're about ready to start the APU. Before we do that, let's see how our INS is doing. Yep, completely aligned and ready to go. So just flip that over to nav, and we are in business. We'll go to the distance and time. Yeah, a little bit longer than that, maybe. Yeah, I've got 4 hours and 45 minutes, according to SimBrief. So this is more than likely going to be a split stream, although I don't know if you guys are here hanging out and it's entertaining. I mean, watching me fly this plane is always entertaining, but I don't mind staying on and just doing one big block of a flight. Alright, so overhead lights here. I don't really need it. It's not that dark. I don't need any overhead lights. We'll put the anti-collision lights on. We're going to come back here to the engineers panel and we're going to get the APU fired up. So APU master power on, start on. You do, that's right. Yep, that's what I'm saying. You could work on your fort as you fly. I mean, it's just like this plane. It only takes 3 pilots to fly this thing. You can easily fly this plane and work on your other stuff. Alright, so bleed air is open. Bleed air shutoff is open. We'll turn the ATMs to off. We will turn the pack flows off. We will shift this to external power. Oops. Yeah, APU power, sorry. And we'll turn the external power off. Alright, we're done with that. We're ready to start. Brakes are set. Yeah, so the lights are on because of the emergency power. As soon as you engage engine or APU power, those emergency lights turn off automatically, and then you can turn them back on if you want, but I shouldn't need them. But it does freak me out a little bit whenever I do that. Fuel is off, off, off. Flaps are 0. I wonder if I have any chance of GSX working for me here. Oh, hey, request pushback. And I think we're going to have to do the best. Oh, I should have picked American Airlines, wasn't it? I think it was American that I don't need any de-icing. We're going to go nose, right, tail, left.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
And we could take this bad boy over to the de-icing area, and it does have a de-icing feature, which is kind of cool, but I haven't messed with that, so I'm not going to do it. This stream will have enough going on. Yeah. I mean, here she is.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
That's a beaut, Clark. Little Dostoevsky design Chicago O'Hare. Captain Sim L-1011.
Locking gear.
And some active sky weather. It doesn't get too much better than this, does it? Bit friendlier than American Airlines. Yeah, I don't know that I've flown on either. We get Frontier and Delta and
Departure check completed.
United.
Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Where I'm at. Okay, parking brakes are released.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Very cool, Downwind. I think you told me that your first flight was on an L-1011, but I didn't realize it was on a TWA L-1011. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to head back, and then we will St. Louis to Newark. Yep, I knew you had told me that also. That's awesome, man. I'm jealous. And we'll wait to start the engines until we're away, and they'll give us the green light here. April of 2001, by the way, was the date where TWA ceased to exist. And they were basically absorbed into the American Airlines family. You do also have like there's a camera view where you can be sitting in the tug. I'm kind of finagling it, but again, I haven't messed a whole lot with GSX, which probably explains why it doesn't work super well for me. There's some configuration things that I need to figure out. We got to get turning here. I need to nose right, tail left. Oh, there we go. All right. Watch out, pin guy. Oh no! He thought we were done. Holy cow! What was that? Yep. From what I've read, the merger wasn't great for the TWA folks. They were all playing jobs, and within just a couple of years, only about 20% of the pilots and stewardesses and folks that worked the ticket counters and all that stuff, they were the only ones. That was like only a fourth of them were still there. So I don't know if that was because they didn't enjoy working for American Airlines or had other opportunities or were let go. I don't really know that, but excuse me. It's interesting though. Alright, well, I didn't really like that pushback area very well. This tug, it may just push me all the way to LA for all I know. Holy cow, we're going. At some point in time, I might have to just say stop. There we go. Alright, I was just about to abort that. Push. Alright, there we go. Parking brakes are set. Here comes the guy. He's like, dude, how far out are we going to go? Started over there. Airplane mergers are an interesting deal. That was kind of one of my childhood favorite airplanes was Western Airlines, and of course they were bought up by Delta. I think that merger went a little bit better, and it was
Unlocking gear.
more of a necessity because Western was just about to go under.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass.
Whereas I don't think that was the case with TWA. Alright, they'll get unhooked here and we will... Oh, they're out of here. We'll be ready to start these engines and get ourselves going. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm understanding downwind. It was almost like by the competition.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Alright, see you later, buddy. We can go ahead and start our engines now, so let's see.
Clear to start engines.
Very good. We'll start number 2 first. She's spinning up. We're going to be, I'll zoom in here, we're going to look for N3 at 20% or more, and when that happens we can introduce the fuel. Right here. There's 20%. And there comes the lights. Got a few things to clear out here, as you can tell. Okay, engine number 2 is stable. We'll go to number 3 and repeat the process. Heading up to 20. There we go. Everything looks to be nice and stable, and so number 1. And then we need to make sure we get all of the electrical things turned on the correct way. I have a habit of running the battery out on this plane, of all things. Alright, that's sounding like it ought to sound. Nice and stable. Rain has started again, but we are ready to turn the APU off. Okay. Oops, no, I don't need to shut down. I need to turn the bleed air back on. We'll stop the bleed air shut off, I should say, back on, if that makes sense. We need to go up here and put the pack flows back open. I am flying on VATSIM downwind. TWA 770 if you're scoring at home. ATMs to auto. Alright, now here's the tricky part. Turn Gen 1 on. Bus volts need to be to ESS. Alright, that's already turned to B3G1. So these are just, it's a bunch of redundancies, as you might imagine. Almost 3 of everything in this plane. Alright, that's it. That's it. We need to go back to the overhead panel, and we are needing to think about anti-ice. We'll turn the anti-ice on and the engine anti-ice on. We will arm the emergency lights. We will put the position light on. We're getting close here. I think we need to, what's left? What's left indeed? Anti-skid, and I still have one thing on the electrical system, so I will turn this off. The thing on the electrical system, by the way, you let this cool down a little bit and then you turn the battery off, but you have to leave it on. Apparently it must run a fan of some sort, I don't know, but they say right before takeoff is when you turn that bad boy off. Okay, we need to, this needs to go to normal, and we're going to squawk Charlie and VPilot. We need to make sure we're 122.8 just in case we have some traffic here. And we can turn our radar to standby. We'll turn this on and let this guy get warmed up. Alright, that looks good. Lift that up one more to normal, and that'll be helpful for us. This is built in, it comes with the plane, which is really awesome. Let's take a look at this gauge right here. We'll check our instruments. Oh boy. I inadvertently had my yoke or my throttle quadrant with the with the thrust turned up to about 75%. So that was, we're just going to say we're testing the thrust right there to make sure everything was working. All right, controls are checked. Taxi lights can come on. Anti-skid, we already turned that off. Oh, that won't turn off until I turn the battery off. Transponder to mode Charlie. Flaps to 10. It's 2 clicks. And look at our weather radar. Yep, we show some business out there. So, yeah, we need to pay attention. And let's see here. Do I have, how much traffic do I have in the area? Probably, even though it's, you never know. Not just 1 departure, 2 arrivals, so, or 3, I'm sorry. That's midway. 4 departures, 3 arrivals. So we'll go ahead and talk our way through it here. O'Hare traffic, TWA 770 is a red and white L-1011. We're going to be taxiing from the Terminal C to runway 10 left, O'Hare. Okay. With any luck, fingers crossed, little prayer said, I think we might be ready to go here. We're going to be inching her forward. There we go. We need to go Bravo down to Lima. Right turn here onto Bravo, and then just a real quick left on Bravo down to Lima. Gonna be a tricky one here, boys and girls. 7,000, can I arm that? I can't quite arm that just yet. Everybody is getting the same kind of weather right now. I flew in the Friday night ops last night. I didn't fly down to Albuquerque or Sky Harbor. I flew into Denver, and it was it might be a new record for minimums. I may have actually slightly stretched the limits of where I was supposed to go. Visibility was a 1/16 of a mile, which that is as low as I've ever seen, and we broke out just, like I say, had to be right close to minimums, or maybe even slightly lower. We were in the 737-200, so we didn't have any auto land capabilities, but the ILS did a decent job of getting us at least in the ballpark. We ended up kind of on the right hand side of the runway, but it flew us down where we needed to go. And I was happy with it. Alright, head down this. This is Bravo. And here in just a couple of right-hand turns, we'll see Lima. We'll take a right on Lima, and we'll head, hopefully, yeah, I think Lima takes us all the way to the end. 10 left. Clear that out. Should have anti-skid in the electrical systems. Yep, that's still the only 2 lights that are lit up. This ought to be Lima. This is Alpha 50 or Alpha 10. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna take it. I think this might actually allow me to zig and zag a little bit. Yeah, this will work. We could actually just keep cutting across, straight across here to Lima. I will do that. There's somebody coming in. Nicely done, sir. Whoever that was, or ma'am. Shouldn't just assume it's a guy, I guess. Okay. Very well done. Holy cow, got it shut down fast. Auto brakes set to max. Yeah, it's looks like it's mostly rain kind of in the Midwest area. We're getting a heck of a snowstorm here. If you look, I don't know if you have the ability to check road and travel. If you type in wildroad.info, you're going to basically see that Wyoming's closed. It's freaking closed. There is no way in and no way out right now. It is a heck of a storm. And they just had, the hard part about this storm is it's like 2 days after we just had our first major storm. So if you ever complain about where you live and the weather that you have, just take a peek at wildroad.info from now until about June. Maybe it'll help you appreciate what you've got. Although I would much rather have snow than some of the other weather phenomenon that can come your way. Snow versus tornadoes, yeah, I'm taking snow. Snow versus hurricanes, yeah, I'm taking snow. It's just the inconvenience of if you need to go somewhere, and in Wyoming there's a long way to go. No matter where you want to go, there's a long way to go. O'Hare traffic, TWA 770 will be holding short 10 left, making preparations for departure. O'Hare.
O'Hare, United 255 Foxtrot, crossing 10 left at Papa 6 and continuing on taxiway Bravo. Full report clear.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Wild Roads is it has those webcams, so you can see you can see what's going on. But it helps you make a good informed decision when it comes to traveling. And actually, that weather information, they shut the University of Wyoming down 2 days early.
Foxtrot clear of 10 left.
Because they saw the storm that was coming.
United 1227 radio check, please, the Bashan.
5x5, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to stop here, 10 left. We're going to make sure we have all our final preparations done And okay, we're going to turn the strobe on. We need to turn the continuous ignition on. We need to make sure our landing lights are on. Taxi lights we can turn off, and then we can come over here to the APU, turn the APU power off. That should extinguish. No, it did not extinguish our anti-skid. Why? There we go. Now everything's extinguished. We're ready to go flying. O'Hare traffic, TWA 770, runway 10 left, departing to the east. We'll make right traffic, O'Hare.
O'Hare traffic, good morning. United 789 on a 10-mile final, runway 9 left. O'Hare traffic.
Have I mentioned how much I love the AFV, audio for voice for VATSIM AFV? Love it. Love the voice Unicom. Great job, everybody who worked on that. I've only been to one place where it got a little bit Western as far as the people using it. Everybody else has been super professional. And it's really nice when you, especially like you have a big major airport like this with no ATC, but you know you're going to have guys coming in and out. The last thing you want to do is get in somebody's way after they've made an 8-hour across the pond flight and they're coming in on final. You don't want to screw that up. Yep, we're going to stay inside. We got the fireplace going. We got hot chocolate, marshmallows, the whole works. We're probably going to be doing some Christmas decorations. The tree is up, but now it's time to break out all those boxes of ornaments and all that fun stuff. Alright, let's get the power going here. APR needs to be about 1.7-ish. Looking for a rotation speed of 160. Airspeed's alive. There's V1. Rotates. Positive rate. Gear up. Flap speed. Flaps up. We're going to engage the autopilot. We're going to set vertical speed mode. We're going to set heading mode. We're going to arm the altitude. Alright, gears up, flaps are up, and we're flying. One thing I did forget to do, I forgot to set the Iowa City 11620. And actually what I'm going to do, I think, because it won't pick it up right away, let's set O'Hare 108.25. We'll fly away from that. We can climb up here a little bit. 108.25. Should pick that up here in just a second. Actually, I don't know why we're not picking that up. That's interesting. Okay, we're going to make our right-hand turn. to 270. That ought to get us on the roughly on the intercept heading. We might need a little more than that. The outbound is 265, and I also did not set that, so that was not a good job on my part. 270 and 265. Alright, at this point we'd be checking in with air traffic and they would say clear to climb. I'm not sure how much they'd give us for this next step, but we're going to go ahead and just put in our cruise altitude and not mess around with it. Yes, no reflection. What are you talking about, Trax? Right? Yes, that's what I filed. Alright, we're just about breaking out of these clouds. Awesome. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So we do have Minneapolis Center that we will, I think we'll cut kind of right across the like the southern chunk of their airspace. Why am I in the alpha range here? What's going on?
United 789, clear runway 9 left on Mike, taxi to the ramp via Mike, cross runway 2227 left on Mike.
We'll decrease our climb rate here just a little bit, get some speed built up. Alright, that's looking good, that's looking good. We, for whatever reason, we just are not picking up the O'Hare 108.25 outbound. Oh, I maybe know why. Let's check on something here. Do I have... It is a possibility. No, everything's turned on, right? I don't have... That's interesting. Well, let's tune in Iowa City then. I know it's a little ways away. 116.2. See if that gives us any different results. There we go. Well, we actually have Iowa City. So we'd be cleared at this point to be direct to Iowa City. So what would that heading look like? 158-ish. Let's arm the nav. Let's let it fly. There's 10,000 feet. We can go ahead and throttle up, try to get 300 on the climb. Keep our eyes peeled though on the gauges, and if that's a little too much, that's pushing our red lines here. We may not quite get 300. Yeah, let's let it stabilize here for a second. Alright, there we go. We're only climbing here at 1,500 feet a minute, so it's not like we're a rocket ship here. Yeah, 108.25. Yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't picking it up. Interesting. But Iowa City is transmitting, so we're locked on that. When we get to Iowa City, then we will let SEVA take over. So I'm getting an engine vibration. Yep. That just means that I am maybe pushing it a little too hard. That the engineer back here would be looking at all these saying, hey, 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 hey. But that's only, yeah, that's 90%. That's That's not too bad, but it looks, this is the vibration panel here, and if those get, I think maybe over 2, you get that little warning. Oh, you know what else I forgot to do? Because I always have a hard time finding it. I forgot to set the cabin pressure, so we're going to be up to 360. Our altimeter was 293, so that looks good. Alright, so we're back in business here, folks. And we want no red lights back here, no fails, no warnings. We want to make good power the entire time, and we want to keep the batteries going. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't have it now. So the cool thing, Trax, I went ahead and I bought the Kodiak, and it's the first plane I've had. You know, if you pop outside these planes, you know, it's you see the pilots and stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. That needs to happen. But the Kodiak has, when you turn your head and look to the right-hand side, it actually has a co-pilot sitting there. It's kind of like, every time every time I pan that way, it freaks me out just a little bit. But I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool to have somebody there, and so, you know, hopefully, and it's an animated person, so, you know, they're looking around and all that good stuff. All right. Yeah. That's true. I never thought about it that way. I'll make sure that my wife doesn't find out that I'm flying with some blonde lady. Okay, so we are speed set 300. Vertical speed, we're climbing 1,500 feet per minute. We could probably nudge that up to 2,000. Not be in too much difficulty. Again, we'll keep our eye on the N3 down here. Did our vibration? Yeah, our vibration light went off. I don't trust the IAS mode. I just don't. The last time I engaged that, I climbed at 6,000 feet per minute on Toga, and I thought I was going to blow the engines up. So I'm going to just keep it on vertical speed mode. And then we're on the nav mode here as well. 141 miles to Iowa City. Downwind Sim, you have that ability, man. Obviously, as we get a little bit higher in altitude, we'll have to pull back on the rate of climb. Just is too much stress on the engines. 29902, we're through 10,000. Let's turn the landing lights off. Let's turn the continuous ignition off. We're through the clouds as well, so let's we'll turn off the anti-ice, and everything else there looks good. We have a lot of light going here that we probably don't need. Turn that down just a little bit. What's our weather radar showing? Yep, we're kind of up and above all of the precipitation anyway. Turn my range up to 80. Just make sure, yep, there's something blipping up. I'm guessing that's probably that guy right there. Pretty high cloud. So downwind sim, X-plane, or active sky for X-plane is on sale. And man, I tell you what, it's tempting, tempting, tempting. I miss my active sky, but most of all is I miss my kind of the cloud art stuff. I don't have active sky cloud art. I have the ENV suite, but I miss my skies in X-Plane. Right now it's just a little too vanilla. I miss my thunderheads, and you know, I miss having fog and a cumulonimbus cloud and cirrus clouds all mixed together. So I'm going to take this thing up to cruise here, and then I guess we'll make a decision as to when we're going to come back with part 2. Again, unless there's just a bunch of guys that don't mind a little white noise in the background, I don't mind leaving this stream running. It doesn't really matter to me. Man, it would have been nice if we could have had just a little bit of ATC. But we'll pick up, like I say, Minneapolis, St. Paul here for a little bit, and then after that to the west, it looks kind of it's kind of barren right now. But a lot can happen in 4 hours and 45 minutes too. There can be a lot of guys popping in and out. And we're looking for a Mach decimal 7.8 for our final cruise speed. We'll be fighting the winds just a little bit here, as expected, as we head from east to west. So I need an update, Downwind Sim, on the new project, man. How close are you getting? Talking about the Kodiak makes me antsy to see if I can't fly down there and land on the beach. Trax, what repaint are you working on also? I'm curious. Very cool, very cool on both fronts. So I'm assuming that you created yourself an airstrip there on the island, or did you actually find one? Yeah, Trax, I'm with you, man. Post a pic. I'd like to see it. Very nice, very nice. I do. I half expected you, to be honest, I half expected you to shoot me a message last night to say, hey, guinea pig, are you ready? Alright, well, no hurries, man. Whenever you get something, if you get something that you feel like sharing, put her out there on the Discord. And if we have to wait until Monday night to see the debut, then so be it. I'll wait. It's only a couple more days. A couple more days till the Bush League fly-in. December fly-in, I should say. Our second ever fly-in up in the mountains of British Columbia. So if you are watching this stream later on, downwindsim.com has all the information. And it was a very, very fun event. We did one in Idaho 2 weeks ago, and it was so much fun, so well received that we decided to make it a monthly event. Oh, that's a good idea, Downwind. Yeah, get it out there so you have a rough idea of where to land. There's an airstrip in the UK that's the airstrip is basically on the beach, and you can only land there at like low tide. or one of the runways is only accessible during low tide. I do have that altitude. Ooh, I do now. Armed. Otherwise, I'd blow right through it. We're still making pretty good power here. Climbing at 2,000 feet a minute. And we're inching up a little closer to, so we're redlining. So we need to back off. Let's do that. Let's spin it down to like a little bit more manageable. Even 1,000 feet per minute would be just fine at this point. I'm surprised we don't have a light on there. And 89 miles to Iowa City. We're making good progress here thus far. Here's what the passengers would be seeing as far as progress. So you can see we've got to work it out for us today. And with it being a fairly ATC free map right now, I think the prudent thing is going to be to call it good once we get up to cruise altitude. And I will plan on, let's see, it's almost noon Eastern. I think I'll plan on trying to be back on around 2 p.m. Eastern time. So let's see, give it about 2 hours, maybe a little more than 2 hours. That should get us right about top of descent. And then top of descent, we can fire the stream back up and kind of get the best of both worlds. You get a little bit of the departure, then the arrival, and skip the cruise. Downwind Sim, he's got to go out, buy Christmas presents. I have mine almost all the way done, by the way. Not to be that guy, but I did some damage yesterday. Got a big chunk of what I needed to get done finished up. And I'll be honest with you, when my Christmas shopping anymore is ordering and having it sent to people. But that's okay too. Got a few more things to get. Through 350, 1,000 to go. $70 miles to Iowa City. We'll engage the INS at that point, as you can see, we're looking right now. The INS is pointing us to from 1 to 2, so it's telling me I still have 290 miles to go, basically. Yep, that's actually what I'm going to do downwind. Is I'm going to put this baby in cruise. I'll check on. I didn't hear my alert here, but it looks like it's engaged. So anyway, I'm going to put this thing on cruise. I'll bounce back and forth, make sure there's no air traffic controller that comes online that wants to talk to me, and I'll just help my wife put some things up. I don't think I'm gonna get outside lights hung this year, unfortunately. But yeah, the snow came a little early. I should have done it. I had a couple of nice days, and you know how that goes. But I'm like, I'll just do it next weekend. I'll just do it next weekend. And before you know it, you've got 6 inches of snow on the ground, and it becomes just a little too slippery to get up on the roof at my age. But man, we may come up with something non-light related. Alright, so we are at cruise. I am trying to get my airspeed kind of dialed in so I can get to a Mach 0.78, but I'm not going to make you guys watch me do that. I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream in half right here, and like I say, give me a couple of hours, maybe like about 2 o'clock Eastern time. If you follow me on Twitch, or if you're part of the Discord channel, you'll see the alert come up. And anyway, hope to see you guys back. Appreciate you hanging out with me early in the morning tracks. Good luck with your livery project downwind. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and we definitely need to fly that baby tonight. And anybody else who popped by, thanks for hanging out with us. And let's see, do I outro it? Outro it here for just a second. We're not all the way done, but we're done with this part, so we will see you guys on the TCAS, and actually see you back here in a couple of hours. Take care. God bless.